Most men chase money, status, and success only to realize too late that inner peace and emotional stability matter more. You can have everything externally and still feel empty if you haven't worked on yourself internally. You spend your whole life chasing it. The car, the house, the corner office, the title, that sense of being somebody. And when you're young, it makes perfect sense. The world tells you, asterisk, this is what success looks like. This is what being a man means, asterisk, so you run. You grind, you sacrifice. You silence your feelings, you ignore your body. You put your mental health in the backseat and tell yourself you'll rest later, asterisk after asterisk, you've made it. But here's the truth. Many men realize too late that asterisk asterisk success means nothing without inner peace, asterisk asterisk. I've seen men sit in $1,000,000 homes feeling absolutely empty inside. I've seen men drive luxury cars with hearts that are completely broken. They've won on paper, but lost in real life. Because somewhere along the way, they believed a lie that once you reach a certain point in life, once you've proven yourself enough, asterisk, then asterisk, the peace will come. Asterisk, then asterisk, the happiness will show up. But it doesn't, and that's the trap. No one tells you that success without self-worth feels like failure. That it's possible to have recognition, even admiration, and still feel like you're not enough. And the worst part, you can get so used to the noise, the pressure, the grind, the pretending, that by the time you slow down enough to feel again, you barely recognize yourself. You start to wonder when you stopped smiling for real, when your laugh became hollow, when your joy turned into performance. See, the world rewards what you do, but it rarely cares about how you asterisk feel asterisk. You become a provider, a protector, a performer. But behind closed doors, who are you? If the applause stopped today, if no one validated your achievements, would you still feel like you matter? That's the gut punch most men aren't ready for, because peace, a real peace, doesn't come from what you achieve. It comes from who you are asterisk without asterisk all of it, without the status, without the noise, without the pressure to prove. It's in the moments when you're alone with your thoughts, and you're no longer trying to outrun them. And for many men, that moment comes too late, after the breakdown, after the divorce, after the burnout. After they've sacrificed everything, family, friendships, health, for a version of success that was never built to satisfy them. They look around and wonder, asterisk, was this what I gave my life for? Asterisk, the truth is, success that costs you your soul isn't success. It's just expensive emptiness. That's why I tell men, don't wait until life forces you to slow down. Don't wait for the breakdown to start asking real questions. Start now. Start by listening to the parts of you that you've silenced. The parts that say, asterisk, I'm tired, asterisk, the parts that whisper, asterisk, this isn't me, asterisk, the parts that long for stillness, for meaning, for something deeper than a paycheck and a title. And no, I'm not saying ambition is wrong. I'm not saying don't hustle or don't build. What I'm saying is build the asterisk right asterisk life. One that doesn't just look good from the outside, but feels whole on the inside. Build success that includes joy. Build it around values, not just victories. Around purpose, not just performance. The version of you who finds peace is not the one who hustled the hardest. It's the one who healed. The one who learned to be present. The one who faced the discomfort instead of drowning it in distractions. It's the man who stopped waiting for permission to feel and started making room for what really matters. His peace, his mental clarity, his freedom. Because when you have peace, you show up differently. You make better decisions. You love deeper. You live more intentionally. You no longer feel the need to prove, you just asterisk or asterisk, and that version of you, that version doesn't burn out. That version leads with strength asterisk and asterisk softness. That version becomes magnetic, powerful, and unshakably grounded. So don't chase a life that looks successful but feels hollow. Don't climb to the top of a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. You deserve more than applause. You deserve peace, and peace is success. When you're growing up, especially as a boy, there's often this quiet hope tucked in the back of your mind that someone will come save you. You might not say it out loud, but deep down, you believe that eventually someone, maybe your parents, a partner, a mentor, or even life itself, will step in, pull you out of the chaos and make it all okay. That one day, someone will notice how hard it's been and give you a break, that things will just fix themselves. But one of the hardest truths men realize, often far too late, is that ***, no one is coming to save you ***. It sounds harsh, maybe even cold, but it's the truth. Life is not a movie. There's no dramatic rescue scene. There's no magic moment where the pain disappears, the struggle ends, and everything suddenly makes sense because someone else stepped in. What you're facing, what you're carrying, that's on you, and I don't say that to shame you, I say it to set you free. See, the moment you stop waiting for someone else to fix it, to understand it, to carry it for you, that's the moment you start to take your power back. Because the longer you wait for a savior, the more powerless you feel, and that powerlessness becomes a prison. It makes you passive. It makes you resentful. It makes you believe that life is just happening ** you instead of happening * through * you. Some men go their whole lives holding on to this unspoken fantasy that a woman will come into their life and finally give them peace. That she'll be nurturing enough to heal their wounds, loving enough to fill their emptiness, supportive enough to make life feel bearable again. But what they don't understand is that no woman can rescue a man from the work he refuses to do on himself. She can love you, yes, but she can't complete you. That's your job. And when you place that weight on her shoulders, the weight of your healing, your confidence, your emotional stability, it doesn't just crush the relationship. It slowly kills you too, because deep down, you know it's not sustainable. You're outsourcing your identity, and that will always leave you vulnerable. Others think maybe success will save them. That if they can just earn enough, achieve enough, impress enough, then the pain will go away. But that only buries the wound. It doesn't heal it. So they keep running, keep achieving, keep performing, and yet they still feel hollow. Still feel lost, because the wound doesn't care how wealthy you are. It only heals when you face it head on. And that's what most men avoid. The facing, the discomfort. The brutal honesty of sitting alone and asking yourself ***, what am I avoiding? What am I afraid of? What have I been pretending doesn't hurt me? ***, it's easier to stay distracted. Easier to blame. Easier to wait, but healing doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who are brave enough to go inward, even when it's dark, even when it hurts. You want to know what real strength looks like. It's not in pretending nothing bothers you. It's not in swallowing your emotions until they rot you from the inside out. Real strength is saying ***, I've been wounded and I'm going to do the work to heal. Real strength is refusing to be a prisoner of your past, even if you had every excuse to give up. And yes, it's lonely sometimes, doing the work, being accountable, taking ownership of your life. It's lonely because so few people are willing to be that honest with themselves. But it's also liberating, because once you realize no one is coming to save you, you stop waiting, and you ** start building ***. You become your own rescue. You learn how to soothe your own anxiety. You learn how to sit with pain without running from it. You become the man you needed when you were younger, and when that happens, something powerful shifts. You no longer look for relationships to save you. You look for ones that match your peace. You no longer chase approval. You move from purpose. You stop performing and start living, and the people around you notice. Your presence becomes calm, grounded, steady. Because you're not looking to be saved, you've already done the saving. This isn't about perfection. It's about responsibility. It's about no longer handing your life over to chance, or to people, or to the past. It's about saying, asterisk, this is my story. I might not have chosen the pain, but I will choose how I respond to it. Asterisk, that choice, that's where the freedom is. No one is coming to save you, but you don't need a savior. You need to remember who you are. We grow up with this beautiful idea that love is enough. That if you love someone deeply enough, if the feelings are strong, the bond will last. That love will conquer every misunderstanding, every hardship, every mistake. And for a while, we hold on to that. We chase love, we fall into it. We believe in its power to fix and fulfill everything we didn't get as children or weren't taught as men. But one of the hardest truths most men learn too late is this. Asterisk asterisk love is not enough to make a relationship work, asterisk asterisk. Love might bring two people together, but it's not what keeps them there. Compatibility, communication, emotional maturity, mutual respect, those are the things that hold it all together when love alone can't carry the weight. The reason so many relationships fall apart isn't because there wasn't love. It's because the people in it weren't equipped to sustain what love demanded of them. Men especially are taught to value loyalty and affection, but are rarely taught how to express vulnerability, how to listen without ego, or how to navigate emotions without shutting down. So what happens? You love her. You want to do right by her, but you can't always meet her where she needs you, not because you don't care, but because no one ever showed you how. And that's what hurts the most, loving someone and still hurting them because you haven't healed, wanting to be everything they need while carrying wounds you've never acknowledged. A man can love a woman with all his heart and still ruin her if he hasn't learned how to regulate his emotions, how to be present, how to be patient. Because love without growth is dangerous. It convinces you that your feelings are enough, even when your actions are falling short. And for many men, it's not until the relationship is over that they realize how much they lacked, not in money, not in gifts, but in emotional maturity, in accountability, in the ability to create safety and stability, not just financially, but emotionally. That's when it hits, when she's already gone, when the silence feels heavier than the arguments ever did, when the love is still there, but there's no one left to give it to. I've spoken to men who still love women they broke years ago, not because they wanted to, but because they didn't know better at the time. They didn't know how to sit in discomfort without getting defensive. They didn't know how to apologize without blaming. They didn't know how to choose peace over pride. And by the time they figured it out, it was too late. You see, love isn't just a feeling, it's a skill, a practice, a decision you make every day to show up, to be honest, to grow even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. But if no one taught you how to love in a healthy way, chances are you'll spend your life learning through heartbreak, through trial and error, through pain. That's why self-work is so important, not just for you, but for whoever you invite into your life. Because every unhealed wound becomes someone else's burden. Every suppressed emotion becomes someone else's battlefield. And the people who love you the most often become collateral damage in the war you're still fighting within yourself. So no, love isn't enough. Not if you don't know how to communicate through conflict. Not if your idea of love is control or silence or constantly proving your worth. Not if you're trying to fill your emptiness with someone else's presence. That's not love, that's codependence. And eventually, it drains both people until there's nothing left. The real test isn't how deeply you love someone, it's how willing you are to do the work that love requires. To learn how to listen without needing to fix. To be present without being perfect. To hold space for someone else's feelings, even when they challenge your own. That's where the strength is. That's where love becomes sustainable. And when you reach that point, when love is backed by emotional maturity, humility, and a deep commitment to growth, that's when relationships become powerful. That's when love becomes more than a feeling. It becomes a foundation. So if you're in love or hoping to be, don't just ask yourself, asterisk, do I love her? Asterisk, ask yourself, asterisk, am I ready to love her well? Asterisk, because loving someone well requires more than good intentions. It requires emotional strength, self-awareness, and most importantly, the courage to grow into the version of yourself that love actually deserves. Love is not enough if you're not enough for the love you want. When you're young, it feels like you have forever. You wake up with this quiet confidence that there's always more time, more chances, more space to mess up, figure things out, fix what's broken, and still end up where you want to be. And because of that illusion, most men waste their most valuable asset, not money, not energy, not even relationships, but asterisk asterisk time asterisk asterisk. It's only later, when the mirror starts showing you a version of yourself you don't fully recognize, that you begin to understand. Time is the most expensive currency you'll ever spend, and you don't get refunds. You see, every moment you spend doing something that doesn't serve your growth, every hour spent chasing validation, every day spent with people who drain your energy, every week stuck in cycles you know you should have broken, it's all a transaction, and the payment is your time. The problem is, we don't always realize what we're spending until it's already gone. Men often believe there's no rush, that the real work can wait, that they can start healing later, building later, settling down later, being intentional later, but life doesn't wait, opportunities don't wait, your potential doesn't wait forever, and before you know it, years have gone by, years you can't get back, and you're standing in wreckage of everything you said you'd get to asterisk, eventually asterisk. You keep telling yourself, I'll fix it next month. I'll have that conversation when the time's right. I'll start working on myself when things calm down. But months turn into years, and while you're delaying, life is still moving. People grow, situations change, and the window you thought would always be open, sometimes it closes. And when it does, the regret doesn't just sting, it haunts. I've spoken to men who waited too long to say I'm sorry. Men who thought they had more time to make things right with their children. Men who put off starting a business, taking a trip, leaving a toxic situation, healing their childhood wounds, and by the time they were ready, life had already moved on. The door was still there, but it didn't open the same way anymore. Time is quiet like that. It doesn't announce when it's about to run out. It just slips through your fingers, disguised as ordinary days. You think you're just wasting a few minutes scrolling, procrastinating, avoiding the hard conversations, but really, you're gambling with something you can't replenish. Time doesn't stop because you're confused or scared or tired. It just keeps ticking, whether you're using it wisely or not. And that's what makes it so dangerous, the illusion of permanence. The idea that you've got more of it than you actually do. That you can keep spending your life reacting instead of creating, settling instead of choosing, existing instead of living. But eventually, life sends you a wake-up call. Sometimes it's subtle, failed relationship, a job loss, a growing sense of emptiness. Other times it's louder, an illness, a betrayal, a funeral. And in those moments, time no longer feels unlimited. It feels sharp, real, urgent. So if there's something in your spirit you've been ignoring, a passion, a dream, a decision, a conversation, this is the sign you've been waiting for. Stop delaying. Stop putting off the version of you know you're supposed to become, because time isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's moving whether you move or not. You're not too young to start. You're not too old to begin again, but you are too valuable to keep wasting your life on things, people, and habits that do nothing for your growth. Every moment you use with intention brings you closer to who you're meant to be. Every moment you waste, you'll one day wish you had back. There will come a day when you realize that the money you lost can be earned again. The opportunities you missed might circle back. But the time once it's gone, it's gone. All you'll have left are the memories of how you used it, or the weight of knowing you didn't. You don't get to control how much time you have, but you do get to control how you use it, so make it count. So if you've been waiting for the right moment, this is it. Stop delaying your healing. Stop postponing your purpose. Stop wasting your time hoping life will somehow figure itself out for you. It won't. You will have to choose. Choose to grow. Choose to lead yourself. Choose to become the man your future needs you to be before it's too late. Because no one is coming. Love isn't enough. Time won't wait. And peace won't chase you. But the moment you decide to rise, everything changes.